The most scrutinized quarterback in college football doesn't even throw the ball that much, but yet he threw the ball more and more consistently, albeit still not well, in a win today for the Michigan Wolverines. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. Appreciate you stopping by. Best discussion, debate, and analysis. Please like the video and subscribe right here. Turn on that bell for the notifications to know when we go live, which begins with our Saturday night post-game live call-in show. So please join us then. All right, Alex Orji was asked before the game. I love this. What does it feel like to be QB1 at Michigan? And he said, it's about time. Like he's playing lights out. It's about time they made me the starting quarterback. That's at least how it sounded. And it didn't come directly from him. That was via the sideline reporter, Jenny Taft. But I just couldn't believe the quote, well, it's about time. Okay. Maybe it's about time you stepped up. How about that? Alex Orji, 10 for 18 on that day. We will talk about his quarterback play a little bit more as we go along here, as Minnesota gives Michigan all they can handle down the stretch, but the Wolverines win at 27-24. Ernest Hausman with an open field tackle on Darius Taylor on a 3rd and 6. I bring this up because Minnesota had two curious calls in the first quarter on 3rd and 6 plays. They've got a decent quarterback in Max Brosmer, and they've got to take some chances and do some things. And being an underdog on the road against the defending national champions, and their first two 3rd and 6s, they threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage. And Hausman and also Jair Hill threw down Darius Taylor for losses on those plays. Bad play calls in my estimation, and I don't pick on play calling very often. Took note that Donovan Edwards officially started above Khalil Mullings. I don't know that it matters. It was mentioned early in the broadcast in regards to the expectations or the role that Alex Orji needs to fill on this football team, that J.J. McCarthy last season in 2023, this would surprise a lot of people, converted more 3rd and longs than any quarterback in all of college football. 29 of them, both running and passing. All right. Let's get to it here with the Jalen Logan Redding with a face mask and a horse collar on Orji on the same play. Led to a Michigan first down conversion and the Mullings touchdown run to make it 7-0. The offensive line just cleared the way on the left side for Mullings to break free and scored the touchdown. Wolverines at 7-0. There were some rainy type conditions, not a downpour, but slick conditions for the quarterbacks here. And we saw Max Brosmer miss some passes early on, maybe because of the slick ball, but he would heat up and find a way later. Minnesota, again, with some curious play calling on those 3rd down plays. They also had a situation in which they could have punted, and if their punter's any good, pinned Michigan deep. They had a 4th down that was too long to go for it. They were at the Michigan 38-yard line. They went for the field goal. Their field goal kicker is off to a horrible start. Dragan Kesic, even though he was first team All Big Ten last year at 24 of 27, he missed that would-be game winner against North Carolina, and he missed this kick from 55 again. Even before the miss, I was saying, PJ, punt, and pin Michigan deep. Of course, they're limited in the passing game. Load up on the run, get a stop, play it that way. Rayshon Benny with a batted ball stopped a Minnesota drive. Also, you had a drop from Ronnie Bell's brother, who is a Michigan wide receiver. That would have converted a series and kept it going for Orji and Michigan. Zeke Berry with the next big play of this ball game strips Daniel Jackson, Minnesota's best wide receiver, and a guy that kept them in the football game later. But on this particular play, Zeke Berry with a tremendous play as Jackson, as you see this many times, when there are multiple defenders around the football and around the ball carrier, and he's basically tackled. They've got him. One guy strips the ball out. Michigan takes over at the Minnesota 14. Mullings takes it in from there. 14-0 Wolverines, 24 carries for $111 for Khalil Mullings, who again is now a folk hero in Ann Arbor, and for good reason. Keyshawn Bennett comes in, number 52, with the blocked punt. Excellent play by him, picked up by Christian Boyvin, taken down to the Minnesota 11-yard line. If you screw up a special teams play, meaning you either have a punt blocked, a field goal blocked, something, punt return touchdown against you, something of that consequence, you lose about 85% of the time. And when you are Minnesota on the road at Michigan as a 10-point dog and that happens, you are sure to lose, or so we thought. Tyler Morris with the touchdown on the short pass that he made an excellent play down the sideline, staying in bounds, diving for the pylon, staying in bounds, and scoring the touchdown, 21-0 Michigan, and it looked easy. Right before half, Max Brosmer started to get hot, started to connect, started to get into rhythm, and threw the Hail Mary down near the goal line. And we know what this weekend is here, weekend 5 in college football when it comes to Hail Mary passes. Nick Callerup, the tight end, came down with it at the 2-yard line for Minnesota. Now, what do you do here? I was impressed on one hand that Minnesota was that prepared to kick the field goal. They got down to the 2. They did not have any timeouts, therefore they couldn't spike it. You don't have time to spike. Either you're really risking and you're counting on the clock timer official to keep track of it well enough. So you don't want to try to spike it with only 2 seconds left. You need at least 3. So do you go for you're down 21. Do you go for the touchdown? Do you rush up there? If you were able to rush up there and kick the field goal, Joel Klatt pointed out, maybe you go for the touchdown. It gets you within 2 scores as opposed to you're still down 3 scores. Again, much like what we questioned in the Kentucky Ole Miss game, I don't think that was a bad decision by PJ Fleck. It could just be argued that you should have gone with a touchdown right there. 21-3 as it stood. We go to the second half. Michigan pulls off a 4th and 1 at its own 34. Khalil Mullings, even though the play was stopped initially at the point of attack, spun away from the defender, and he picked up that first down all by himself. Otherwise, Minnesota would have been in prime territory. Michigan kicks the long field goal to make it 24-3, and that was almost it for the Michigan scoring at that point, but it looked easy at that point, 24-3. This is really the key sequence in the game with Michigan rolling. Alex Orji, clean pocket, plenty of time. They're trying to develop the passing game, trying to give him more throws, challenge him with more plays downfield. In this one, he was not up to the challenge. He threw it a tick late, and he had Colston Loveland open down the seam. He threw it too far to the inside, and also it was a tick late. If it would have been earlier, he probably would have completed that for a big 25, 30-yard gain. However, the Minnesota defender was able to jump in front, pick it off. So Minnesota's football then. Mason Graham on a 3rd down. We're off the field. Hands to the face against the offensive lineman. Led to a Minnesota first down at the Michigan 13. And the Gophers convert. And Max Brosmer, as we have been alluding to, got hot. These are the stats to prove it. 15 of 19 during this stretch. 75-yard touchdown drive, 76-yard touchdown drive, and a long punt return led to another short touchdown drive of 17 yards. And we had a ball game going here at 24-17. It was key that Michigan, much like last week against USC, when the offense was stymied the entire second half, that they put together one drive. They only got one drive going, 14 plays for 58 yards, and kicked what proved to be a decisive field goal because they went up 27-17. It was Minnesota and Brosmer back down the field for the touchdown. And then I hate when controversial plays, calls or non-calls, possibly decide football games. Not that Minnesota would have won. They would have had to move the ball downfield, score the game-winning touchdown, or kick the game-tying field goal, but they executed the onside kick to perfection. It was called offsides. The players to the far right of the formation, all the way to the sideline, were apparently offsides. I didn't see it. And the rules official at Fox, he did not see it. Minnesota has not pulled off an onside kick since 2011, and they didn't do it today, technically, officially, but it looked like, to me, they pulled it off. Hate to see games Again, not that it was decided by that play, but Minnesota should have been given the opportunity. They recovered the onside kick to take it from there. Maybe I'm just upset because Michigan did not cover the spread. Maybe that's what it is. But that was a blown call. The officials, you blew it. You blew it. That's all there is to it. You blew it. Why do you need to get... If you're going to go the ticky-tack route, you don't err on that side. If you're going to err, it's not on that. You let the players play. If you're going to err one way or the other, you err in allowing the players to play, not the ticky-tack decision. You don't do that. Bad officiating right there. Michigan holds on. They win 27-24. Okay, Alex Orji, how did he throw the ball? Well, compared to other quarterbacks across the country, like crap. Compared to him, he's improving. He's getting better. However, the more that they open up the offense, the more they subject him to potential errors. So we will just wait and see whether he is able to manage his progression and his progress, and if Sherrone Moore and his coaching staff, Kirk Campbell, are able to monitor that correctly and walk that line of giving him more shots downfield, monitoring his progress, what he is able to take on, and then also the game situation, the reward versus the risk. All of that needs to be taken into consideration. But Alex Orji proved to be a better quarterback, more improved quarterback today in his second start. It only makes sense because in his first start, it was his first start. And he faced a more athletic defense in USC. Not necessarily a better defense, more athletic defense. Okay, for the Golden Gophers, they dropped to 2-3. They have now lost 2 really tough ball games to North Carolina and to Michigan. They take on USC at home, currently in a dogfight with Wisconsin. We've got Michigan at 4-1, unblemished in the Big Ten. They go all the way across country to take on Washington, who, of course, lost on the last-second field goal miss against Rutgers on Friday night. Comments and questions are welcome below, of course, here at the Voice of College Football on Michigan and on Minnesota. PJ Fleck, should he be out the door after this season? They look like they're headed to a rough record, although they put up a fight today. And for Michigan, of course, it's about the entire progression of the team, trying to make a college football playoff, but specifically Alex Orji and this passing attack right here at the Voice of College Football.